Hi, my name is Allie Moore, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about my landscape series that I'm currently working on. I'm really excited for this series. As you can see, this photo here in the back is one of my favorites. I think it has a real surrealistic quality to it, and I kind of chase that in many of the other photos. Some of these more current ones are a little bit more on the nose, maybe perhaps, but let's go ahead and get into it. So, like I said, currently I'm working on landscapes that focus on suburban sprawl and disappearing green spaces and kind of this like weird in between phase where green spaces back up or butt up to tract housing or like farmland that backs up to tract housing or suburbia, whatever you want to call it. That's really what I'm interested in, and you'll see that later on um, in some of these photos. Some of the things that I'm thinking about while I'm photographing these and building this series is sustainability and how, like, just curious and kind of exploring this idea of how sustainable are suburban neighborhoods? Is that building the future and the life that, like, we want? Or is it just convenient? That sort of thing. And also, a lot of these houses in the first, especially the first location that I started this series in, which was Prosper, Texas, these houses are huge, like giant. I'm like, do we need all of this? Or is it just because, Jones next door or whatever the saying is? You're just trying to keep up, like for appearances. That is also something that's kind of on my mind. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about like responsibility as an artist. I think that as I was making these drives from Denton, Texas to Prosper, Texas, virtually every weekend, um, and seeing scenes similar to all of the pictures you're about to see, I started to get this almost anxiety like feeling from these scenes, and then eventually it was just undeniable. And I felt like it was my responsibility to document these areas, document these disappearing green spaces, and kind of eventually it turned into this idea where, hey, I think I might like to turn this into something and share my opinion on a topic that I think is important and worth looking at or worth discussing. So I'm going to take a little page out of Roberto Lugo's book and try to kind of do an artist talk like him. I know that I definitely won't be as good of a rapper as him or probably even sound as good as him, but I thought I might give it my best shot. It's scenes like these that create a low bubbling anxiety within me that is undeniable and create this inner dialogue of, where are we supposed to go? I can't afford these houses. How can anyone my age afford these houses? We are both, my husband and I, gainfully employed above the average income level. But these houses, they are too expensive. And for what? A roof and a window into your neighbor's life? I don't want it. I understand it, sort of. How is this sustainable? I hope the housing market crashes. I hope the bubble bursts and houses prices come down. It reminds me of a race I don't want to be a part of, but is so easy to get into. Test, test, test. So I'm really starting to expand my series. As I mentioned before, I started in Prosper, Texas. I really started to, based off feedback from my peer review group, and just that sort of kind of this already urge of like, well, is this the end of this? Do I stop at Prosper? What does it look like next? I decided that it might be a good idea to expand to DFW or maybe even North Texas. Um, and of course, I wanted to reach a wider audience. I feel like this is a topic that is worth talking about, something for us to take notice of. So I really wanted to expand my horizons, pun intended, expand my audience, and just kind of keep working on this series and make it as good as it can be. This way, no, this way, come this way, don't go that way, no, over here, buy this house or this house, it doesn't matter, just buy a house. Buy, buy, buy. So I can go back to my mansion where I can't even see my neighbors. The sprawl is endless, new houses everywhere. This was the first time I started to photograph in Hazlitt. I was amazed at this view, watching the builders work away. I sat here for probably an hour. Now I see that this image is really kind of hard to see, but this is actually 8 images stitched together to create this, I'd argue, beautiful scene, um, of just beautiful, bittersweet, kind of both, of this green space that will be gone, and these almost like impending doom of rooftop horizons that will fully encapsulate all around us eventually. Here's some more photographs from after I decided to expand out of Prosper. These include the North Lake area, the Hazlitt area, and some stops along the way between the two on I-35 West. So, in conclusion, the ultimate goal for this series is to, of course, go into like open call show spaces, that sort of thing, but ultimately is to live as a book. I'm currently doing some research on finding topic experts and art historians. Also doing like my own individual research and writing. I'm just not like the best writer. Um, which is fine. That's why we have topic experts and art historians. But ultimately, I want to work with those kinds of people and continue photographing all of DFW and kind of create this book that I think will be able to fully convey kind of the things I'm talking about. And this is exactly what I plan to work on after I graduate. Um, Probably for the next 5 years. So keep an eye out for this book. Thank you.